Мезузу поставить или нет? Настоящий Сефар Тора?
Не обязательно.
Конечно надо.
Вот это, да. Но там не было Сефар Тора. Там было Диврей Тора. אוקיי, פייחלי, רבותיי, we are on page 10 times חי בכל. שהכל.
180.
לא будет מזונוצית здесь. נשמת אור נפטרים, ברוכתו אדונו, לפנינו בורים למזון.
אמן. 180. 180.
Double high.
Huh, Jesse John? You miss Israel?
Double high.
With this weather, you have to miss Israel.
No, Mexico this time. He missed Mexico.
פייחלי. We are in
מזונות, one slide, I don't give it to only one.
180.
I'm hungry.
Is one allowed to remove the fruit? We said. If there are many guests, we said. Number 6, according to the one that says 1 hour.
It's not
Is it for eating that specific item or from the beginning of the meal? Amen, John.
мазонот. На вас не запасешься.
We are on page 180 and number 6. Bechor, Ozi, Shason Prishol. Bechor, Shason Prishol. Kto? Spokojno budь. Okay. According to the one that says 1 hour, is it? Amir John. No. During the meal, if one planned to eat the food more than 1 hour after Borer was performed, is it still allowed or no?
No problem.
Very good. Page 183. In what manner one can do Borer for others?
Only during meal.
Huh?
Only during
No, that's not true. You know, on Shabbat, Yehoshua, you're not allowed to do Borer. What is Borer? Separate. You're not allowed to separate on Shabbat the good out of the bad if you're not going to eat that good, that desirable thing, immediately. On Shabbat, we have to eat the things that we separate immediately. If we don't eat them immediately, it's an issue of Borer. Got it?
Yeah.
That's why, Bechor, last Shabbat, I came home, I see one person in my house cleaning the pomegranate. Huh, Haggai? Cleaning the pomegranate. Allowed to clean the pomegranate before the meal or no?
No.
Boy, Abshkagne, yeah, Magon, Hamto.
So da nigger we bim bim de tu.
Before the meal, Bechor.
Много не дам.
But they didn't peel one part of the, whenever you break the pomegranate, there's like 5, 6, 7 pieces, depends how you break it. And they break it, and they peel. Is it allowed or no?
No problem.
So, Meir, we have news. It is a problem. Mechalel Shabbat. So I asked them, when did you prepare it? It's a whole pile.
Half an hour before.
They said half an hour before. I said, next time. We already went through this argument before.
We don't know. We can say half hour. So maybe have 1 hour pause. What's the big deal? Is the Rabbanan anyway?
Why are the
The
Rabbanan?
time is the Rabbanan.
Borar is the Oraita,
What
John.
does it mean miyad? The Torah doesn't say miyad.
Okay, but you're right. Since the
So
Torah.
look at the Rabbanan.
Rabotai.
I'm sorry, Rabbi.
Since the
אני
Torah.
начинаю с вами спорить.
Rimon is
Hold
not.
on.
Is not
Hagai. Let's keep things in Adamu, It's called Derech Eretz. Zapis idiot, Bechor. Ani idiot, Idiot. Bechor John, we need, whenever you have questions, Derech Eretz. He is asking, then the second ask, then the third asking. When the first asking, the second jumping, the third is just jumping. That's not a discussion, that's a fight.
Rimon is not.
Hold on, show us to do. He's talking. No, I was waiting for you. ברשות מוריי ורבותיי, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. So now, as far as your question, we said since we don't have a definitive what is le'altar means, it's not clear. Anything that you will do past that moment, you're under a question. So you don't want to do things that you might get caught with IRS, with police, with FBI, right? You want to do things that are 100% kosher. How much more so not would mess up with your neshama. Anything that is past that moment, it's questionable. That's what Al Yosef says. We don't have a valid proof for a half an hour leniency. Separate now and eat and within half an hour. Therefore, I told in my house, next time, whenever you peel the pomegranate, do it during the meal, not before the meal. Because during the meal, then you're not going to be limited of how much you're going to peel, but make sure that all this what you peel, people are going to eat. Sometimes they peel so much, and then the family ate already the salad, the fruits, no room. Last Friday, I didn't have room, mamash. I said, I'm sorry, I can't eat it. Not четвертый. Friday night I'm talking about. Hagai John, you had a question.
Yeah, but limon, when you peel it, the limon, you cannot peel it like an orange, like a margarine. You cannot peel it this one.
So you want to say what?
Cut.
You have to cut.
When you're cutting, so you're gonna take out the juice of the limon. It's together going. It's not the. It's the same. It's
Whenever
the
you
same
cut.
way. Yeah, it's the
Good.
same way. It's the same
Good,
way.
good,
as,
good. We're not talking about
mango,
taking.
banana the same way. So what kind of?
Whenever you peel the pomegranate, let's say you cut it to 4 pieces. How many of those pieces are going to be eaten now? After the whole entire meal, how much of it are you going to eat?
It depends.
Okay.
How many people?
So good. Let's say you're going to eat maybe 1/4 out of the limon. Can you peel, clean only 1/4, or you have to clean 3/4 of it also?
With a spoon, you don't hit the back for all the pieces.
Let me ask a question. When you cut it to 4 pieces, do you have to peel all 4 pieces, or 1/4 is also good? You don't have to. So I gave them zamichana. I gave them don't do it next time because you peeled the entire thing and you're not going to eat the entire thing. So they said within half an hour. I said half an hour. It's a questionable in halakha. It's not valid 100%. So therefore, Rabotai, you have to teach it in the homes. Don't think that it's my family keep Shabbat for sure. No, sometimes they know certain things they don't know. Hi, it's the kids. It's the kids you can teach. The kids bechor learn by Ashkenazi yeshivot. Now I had a very sensitive situation in the house. Why? The kids learn in Ashkenazi yeshivot. They teach them over there Ashkenazi laws.
Yeah.
Now if you're going to say, yo, Ashkenazi teacher don't know nothing, I killed the teacher. Not only killed the teacher, I killed the education of the child. So I had to always be very careful not to put the Ashkenazim down.
Yes.
I had to say, you're very good that you're going to Ashkenazi school, they have good laws, good halachot, but not always we follow them. It's good for you to learn it, so you're going to have a broader knowledge, but in practice, Sephardim do it like this.
Yeah.
You didn't disrespect them. So they will go tomorrow to school interested to listen to the teacher because Papa said that it's important to know for a broader knowledge.
True.
The presentation you rebuked will give perspective to the child about the future. Очень важно это знать. Not to win the moment, and win the future also.
True.
So I told the kids, the next time you separate whatever you need right now. Hi? They understood, what a serious thing. Abba gave us a michanya. Hi? Sitting on the table. As they sit on the table, my daughter takes, there was a salad made, corn, onion, mushrooms, some, I don't know, some other things.
Taking the corn.
So she took out only a certain one. She said, I like this one. She's asking, now we're talking Divrei Torah, and she's taking, Abba, can I interrupt you? Can separate this now? Is this borer? I said, no, you separate now. You eat it right now? Yeah. I said, then there's no borer. You see, if I wouldn't give them that samichania about the pomegranate, that rebuke, harsh rebuke, screaming rebuke, just told them it is a problem. There wouldn't be, listen, there is a question of borer. It's a serious thing. Abba gave us some chidush. The whole meal was a question. Abba, is this borer? Abba, is this borer? There was all questions over there. So the kids like this learning also. Don't be afraid to teach them because it will only benefit them. So now number 1 in page 183 says, it is allowed to select for guests only for immediate consumption because there is no clear proof that honor is considered a necessity. Rabotai, another thing, a lot of people complain to me that there's a lot of arguments in the class. I have no problem that you questioning something we learned. I said something, Rabbi, it's not clear what you said. Can you explain again? Yeah. Rabbi, I have a question on this thing that we said. Can you explain that? Yeah. But whenever we have disagreement, how can it be? It's like sometimes I feel that I'm Rabbi Mizrahi. I have to teach people there's a Torah Shebichtav, Torah Shebe'al Peh, there's God, there's Olam Haba. Sometimes those arguments are like, I have to win Judaism. You understand? And we, Baruch Hashem, in a much higher level already, that we learn Halachot Shabbat in depth. Sometimes I feel the arguments are, why the Torah says such a thing? I have to go say Torah is divine. We have to have a proof for that. There's Gilgulim if you're not going to listen to that. There is Olam Hazeh, there's Olam Haba, there is Gan Eden, there's Gehinom, there is reward, there's punishment. These things we already passed. Those levels, we already passed those levels. We already don't want to know what Hashem wants from us.
I have a question.
We forgot.
Regarding of the peeling if done by your kids, it's prohibited to everybody or only for them?
So they relied on the half an hour opinion. Anytime somebody did something on Shabbat and they have an opinion to rely on, the benefit from it is not restricted. Because the benefit
is more than half an hour.
Then if there is an opinion to rely on. If you remember, there was also an opinion of 1 hour.
We have another hour.
Yeah. Ben Ishchai wanted to say also 1 hour. Sha'a achad. Remember that debate that we had. What is sha'a achad means? אי אפשר להתקיים אפילו שעה אחת, like the birkat asher yatzar, which is a moment. Sha'a achad. Or sha'a achad means 60 minutes. Got it? Yes.
Yeah, grapes. And some of the grapes are rotten.
Yeah, we spoke about this.
It's
I
because one or it's
We spoke about this. Bechor will tell you the answer. Or Chagai also remembers.
But what if it's
Different grapes in the cluster. What is that considered to be? If I separate those bad ones out, is it borer or no? Yes, we learned it. Yeah.
But what if it's more than an hour?
Watch the recordings. The recording is done for that. In case you miss classes, so you can catch the information. Yeah.
Well, what about if it's more than an hour? Okay, you have the opinion of
Then there is nothing to rely on.
Then I'm also not prohibited if she did it?
Yeah, everybody are not allowed. Because they Isur on Shabbat. Isur Doraita. On Shabbat. Mechalel Shabbat. It's like they cooked you an egg on Shabbat. Can you eat that egg on Shabbat or no? Isur. The same thing here. Mechalel Shabbat Borer is Chilul Shabbat 100%. It's not questionable Chilul Shabbat. It's 100% Chilul Shabbat.
Well, then they can eat it after Shabbat.
After Shabbat, they could eat it.
Only the person who didn't do it.
It depends. If they did it purposely or by mistake.
Purposely, no. Not purposely, no problem.
Yeah. The shogeg, everybody can enjoy from it after Shabbat. So it's only by if a goy did something for you. Not by, yeah. רק בגוי יש גזירה בכדי שיעשו.
Is that only if they separated everything out? Like all the onions out of the salad? If there's still some onions left, they separate it, can you still eat it?
Doesn't make a difference.
Так, выключи, чтобы никто не знал.
That's debatable if they want to enhance the situation. But Rabotai, I ask you, please make your questions on the topic we're learning, not what if questions, because otherwise not going to be able to proceed with this topic.
Had that situation happen, someone did something.
I'm not blaming you. You had good situation, but that's not our topic. Ask questions on this topic. It'll be easier to progress that page.
Rabbi, if they eat it right away after separating, that's fine.
Yeah, you separate the good out of the bed and eat it right now, no problem. Problem is whenever you separate and you leave. And you leave it, soon we're going to eat. That's an issue. Got it? Okay. Next. We are on number... okay, this guy, we already told you all this. Number 8. Let's go to number 8. Is it permitted to select for sake of an animal? Bechor, can you do borer? Hagai John? בוא תשב לידי, בוא, אני אוהב שאתה יושב פה. בוא, הנה, יש פה כיסא, בוא.
Тут вопрос спросили. Яйцо, говорит, отварили до Shabbat. They cook the egg before Shabbat. Now there's with the water. You allowed to put in the platter or inside the oven?
What, with the water? The water cooled off?
The water cool off, yeah.
It depends how much water. If majority is water, a little bit of water.
You boil the egg before Shabbat. It's ready with the water. You take
Yeah,
it
but
out.
how much water left after
And
you
eat
boil?
this for Shabbat.
So the answer would be, if there is a lot of water, it's an issue. If it's very little water, no issue. Water.
It's not water. You didn't.
Again, I'm repeating again the answer. If it's a lot of water, it's an issue. If it's a little bit water, no issue.
When you cook the eggs, you cover it with the water. So when it's boiling, so some of the water is gonna disappear.
So if they left a lot of water, it's an issue. If it's left little water,
Why
there's
is
no
the
issue.
What was the issue? You're not drinking the water.
You're right, but they are reheating the water, and we said
What?
there is cooking after cooking by liquids.
But you cannot put the.
Maybe by water, plain water. Maybe in this case, we learned that water has a different status than soup. I don't know if I learned it with you. I learned with the guys last time, in the previous cycle. By water, there is different law than soup. There is allowed to reheat water, plain water that was already cooked. Rabbi Yitzhak Yosef said that it's considered to be mitztamek veralo. But soon we're going to get there. Right now we're in Borer, then after Borer we're going to get to Bishul, and that topic is going to come up.
But this water is not for drinking.
You're right. Because it's not for drinking, it's not the same status of soup.
So that's what I'm saying.
So it's more lenient.
And
By water.
The eggs is already being cooked.
Right. By the liquid, there is a question of cooking, but that's not for the water. Water, Rabbi Yitzhak Yosef says that it evaporates. The more you cook it, not the better it becomes. The more it evaporates, the worse it becomes.
So some people, they're taking the eggs, they're putting in plastic bag and they're putting inside the orsuvo in the morning or Shabbat.
Hmm. And that water is cooked already?
Huh?
That water is already cooked?
Not water.
Ah.
Egg.
They boil the egg. The
Before
egg is
Shabbat.
ready, before Shabbat. They're taking, they're putting inside the plastic bag.
Okay.
Now keeping inside the refrigerator. Next day,
Shabbat morning, they want to put it
Saturday
inside.
morning, yeah, Shabbat morning, they want to take and put inside the orsuvo bag,
Yeah? On the oswald pot.
on orsuvo pot inside.
Yeah.
But this is cooking then after, no?
No? It's already cooked. There is no cooking after cooking by salad.
So over here, not question is allowed.
Yeah, it's 100% allowed.
Spokojno.
Okay?
With,
Okay, back to Borei. Rabotai, please.
Hold on, but you're taking if you're taking the what you call meat, and you're putting on the platter, and it was if this one the meat it was rare, you're changing the status of the meat.
Yeah,
So
that's cooking the meat. That's not allowed.
now over here the egg. How you know what inside is? You boil it this for 10 minutes, but maybe it's not.
So if you have safek, the oraita, the chumrah. If you have a doubt, you're not allowed to take a risk. So מבשל בשבת אסור.
You have to
But
be-
come, after I answer your question, come, sit next to me, Bio. Bio, number 8. Bio, I love when you sit next to me. Now we're going to do Rashi also. Soon, Bechor is going to finish his pizza, we're going to do Rashi on the parsha.
People saying that they see.
Bechor, if you will do only parasha, you're going to stay Am Haaretz. Ты знаешь это? До 127 остается человека Am Haaretz. Майна нес потом. If a person doesn't learn halacha, he's going to stay Am Haaretz. Parasha is going to come as Paro or Gilgul or Moshe.
We learned something good about Yaakov last Saturday.
Very good. But it's not
You
going to
don't need to be in
improve
sadness.
your knowledge about
You
practices.
see, people
Yes,
learn
yes,
halachot,
parasha
people
19.
learn everything.
Back to Borer.
Yeah, number 8. אתה מסתכל למטה, בארון למטה.
Let's do more than one number.
Okay, number 8. Is it permitted to select for the sake of an animal? I want to separate the bones out of the chicken. Can I do that on Shabbat or no?
Yes, because that's a good for the animal.
אז תביא שם. Oh, but pay attention. I want to separate and not eat it now.
No.
Friday night I separate.
No.
Shabbat morning I eat.
No.
Good? Not allowed.
No.
What if Friday night I separate it and I give it to a dog? My dog likes the bones.
Okay.
Now why I do it? Because Shabbat morning, my relative that doesn't like the bones, is going to have ready for him. But now that I separate that bone, now I give it to the dog.
So you separate now the good from the bad.
מותר.
You also is also
Yeah,
grows
yeah.
together.
One
Safek safeka.
There is a blue book that we're looking for. Rashi, Pirush Rashi. Simple Rashi, it's called Rashi Kipshuto. David John, maybe it's behind you over there. It's a blue book with silver letter at the Chumash Bereshit. Rashi Kipshuto, it says.
You take the bone, you give right away to the dog.
Yeah,
Mutar. If you keep that and give him after,
very good. Bechor. Kol hakavod. So here, for a proof of the above written, the Tosefta allowed selecting for an animal, it is proven that there is no need to eat them with them immediately. You know, some opinion says if you separate with for others, you have to eat your food right now. If you separate for others, some opinion says you have to also eat now. Example, I right now have onions in my salad.
What about fish with the bone?
Shashas. I don't like my onions in the salad. Chagai loves the onions very much. I take out the onions, I give it to him. Do I have to eat the tomato salad now or no?
Yes.
Hmm?
There's no borer.
Yeah.
No borer is gone.
Let's say I'm already full.
You gave it someone.
I'm already full. I help cleaning up the table, and I don't want these onions to stay overnight by the tomato salad. And Chagai is by me. He's gonna eat it right now. I'm already finished with eating. Can I separate out of my salad the onions that I don't want and give it over to Chagai? Chagai is eating it now, but I'm not eating it with him.
Yes.
So some opinion said no. If you want to separate for him, you want to say that you are eating. Where is you eating? You're doing a job for him. He's eating. You're not eating. What Yosef says, I'm sorry. Those opinions that say it's not allowed, they're wrong. Why? They said if I'm separating for the dog, am I eating together with the dog?
No.
No, and Halakha says it's allowed. How is this different than separating for another person that you're not eating with him?
With a baby.
Or for a baby? Or for a baby, yeah?
For the baby,
So-
give it to him.
So,
Eat it? No.
so these opinions that says that you have to eat together with the one that you separate with, they are not right. Rav Yosef says. You're allowed to separate for him, and you're not obligated to eat what you left behind right now. Because he ate whatever you separate for him
But right now.
right now. Got it?
So baby, guest, and dog all the same.
You're allowed to separate for all of them. Yeah, they're not the same, but you're allowed to separate for them. Yeah?
Çoğu istiyor.
Or Halakha, Parsha Parsha. John Ishmo.
Açıyor tam çoğu istiyor.
On Friday night, I left it here. Forgot to take it with me.
Гость туда отнести. Ресторан.
No, я там тебя не отнесу. Я там наизусть говорил, без книг. Okay, 186. So if you're not going to find it, then we're going to do the halacha the whole night.
Худо, худаш, что деньги худеет.
Is one allowed, 186, is one allowed to select an onion that is not desired from the salad to feed to his friends? So we just answered it. 188. Is there a prohibition of borer within the same type? This we already said, that there is no.
But hold on. It's not so correct to say there is no.
Why?
The example that he gave earlier, the question that he asked.
The big matzahs and the small matzahs, the broken matzahs and the complete matzahs.
ספויל ענבים עם ענבים טובים, ואתה מוציא את הענבים הלא טובים, ואתה זורק אותם, אז אתה כן עושה בורר.
Good, but that's whenever the anavim are spoiled. The fact that they are spoiled already different type. Tam jest Rashi kipshuto set blue versus missing. So, okay, Yoshua. God bless you. See you tomorrow. 9 o'clock we're here. Every morning and every night. 9 to 10 in the morning, 9 to 10 in the evening. It's from your neighborhood. Bukhari. Yeah. 188. Is there a prohibition of borer within the same type? So the same type means the same taste, not spoiled and good.
So that's what you gotta be saying,
Yeah.
specifically.
So Rabbi Yosef says there is no problem. Therefore, it is permitted to select large pieces from small pieces, or vice versa. This contrasts this with the opinion of the Taz.
What's the example?
Big matzahs,
Oh.
complete. Let's write down.
מה שאמרנו עם הפריסה של המצב, ואז יש לו break pieces and
Complete matzah and broken matzah.
מצאת את זה חלק?
Matzah. Matzah. How do you spell matzah, Aaron? With the H at the end. Yeah, H at the end. So this contracts with the opinion of the Taz, who infers from the Talmud Yerushalmi that separating pomegranates from another pomegranate is forbidden. However, Rabbi Wadi Yosef wrote that the Yerushalmi presented this as a question: is separating pomegranate from pomegranate is forbidden? It's a question. This omission and we follow the ruling of the Talmud Bavli, which does not mention a prohibition of borer within the same type. This omission indicates that the Bavli disagrees with the Yerushalmi's question and permits such a separation. Rabotai, Bavli has a. Whenever you read the Talmud Gemara, Bechor v'Gemara tizdeleh lito, Baba Kama v'nachili. Huh? It's a lot of thinking there. You're able to understand? A lot of thinking there. Good. Gemara says that this 3 volumes, Baba Kama, Baba Metzia, Baba Batra, makes your brain sharper. But if you really learn it, Nichitash, it's going to make your brain sharper. Yeah, in Russia. No, Chagai, but it's named Chavurus Deot. Yeah, yeah. In the morning after 10 o'clock, Hagai is smart. So now listen to this. Bechor, I'm telling you, out of many people sit in the class, he remembers the entire class. Memory unbelievable. So now, Talmud Bavli we have, like you learn, Talmud Yerushalmi we have. Bavli, when he talks, you understand when he's questioning, without question mark, without symbols. In the Yerushalmi, you don't understand when he's questioning or whenever he's saying a statement. Right? In English, like you have a question, you put, do you so-and-so, right? It's a question. Like this, the Bavli is talking. In Yerushalmi, there is no presentation of a question. It's very hard to understand sometimes that the Yerushalmi says a question or it says a statement.
More likely it's a statement.
So Gemara says in the Yerushalmi, pomegranates from pomegranates, borer. What does it mean?
It's like grapes.
Pomegranates from pomegranates, borer.
Sounds like a statement, but it's a question.
Now it could be like this: pomegranates from pomegranates, borer.
What follows?
And then there's another continuation, something else. How do you tune it? Pomegranates from pomegranates, borer. Okay, that's a statement. Or pomegranates from pomegranates, borer. That's a question. Same words. So comes the Taz and says he understood that the Yerushalmi, it's a statement. Pomegranates from pomegranates, borer. You see, pomegranate, same type. And the Yerushalmi told us it's borer. Now, the Bavli did not disagree with that, so we have to follow Yerushalmi. That's the law of Psak Halacha. Comes Rav Yosef and says, I'm sorry. Pomegranates for pomegranates, borer was a question from the Yerushalmi. What's the proof? That the Bavli did not write it. He omits it. If it would be a law, how come the Bavli did not mention it? Now, if the Bavli did not mention certain law that the Yerushalmi didn't have a question regarding, it shows us that to the Bavli it was clear that it's not a problem of borer. Because if it would be a problem of borer, the Bavli should have presented to us the laws of borer. How the people in Bavel that read Talmud Bavli would know the Halachot? That was the book of Halachah for them. How would they know that? If you didn't ever put it in your book. How do I know that? So Masbi says Ravaria that the Yerushalmi did not present it as a statement. Yerushalmi presented it as a question. Bavli
Made a statement.
did not. Bavli omits it. There is no mentioning of the same state type. Is it borer or not?
Bavli is before you.
Why Opposite. Yerushalmi is before.
Really?
Yeah. Yerushalmi was written 50 years after Bet HaMikdash destroyed. That's how the Rambam writes in the preface of the Rambam. Mishneh Le'ad HaChazakah. And he says 300 years later, Bavli was written.
After the exile.
Right. That's why when Bavli disagrees with Yerushalmi,
In the exile.
what,
In the
you
exile.
hear? That's why when Bavli disagrees with Yerushalmi, Halakha is like Bavli. Why? Because the Bavli knew the information of Yerushalmi. However,
added
Yerushalmi
more.
did not have the information of the Bavli.
They added more, they learned more.
Right. So they had more access to more Chachamim, which came with their knowledge later on. They had it from the origin, but they passed it over later on. That's anytime Bavli disagrees with Yerushalmi, Halakha,
Yerushalmi.
like Bavli, Yaakov John.
This is a
Bavli is
problem.
later.
This is a
Yerushalmi is
problem.
earlier.
What the rule that the previous cannot argue with the...
That's why they stop. They coming Rishonim, they stop.
He didn't finish his question. What's your question?
the descendants cannot argue with the Avot. So those 350 is Avot compared to...
Very good question. The answer is, when do we say Halakha is like that you're not allowed to argue with the earlier ones?
Right.
That's past Rishonim, Achronim era. Acharon cannot disagree with the Rishon. That's the general way of how Psak Halakha goes. After Talmud sealed, then you have commentaries, which is Rishonim. Then on these commentaries, do you have their conclusions? Then you have Achronim that's saying, how do we follow? Right? Shulchan Aruch was the break point of 500 years ago of the Rishonim era finished. Now we have Achronim. Shulchan Aruch tells you, bottom line, Halakha, like this. Sure. You don't need Bavli, Yerushalmi, Rishon Takoi, Rashi, Tosfot, Rif, Rambam, Chashamalasha. Don't need that. Bottom line like this. Sure. That's a Maran came 500 years ago to make. Now will come commentaries on Maran. That's Achronim. Now Aharon will say a certain law. Can that Aharon say a law that clearly disagrees with the Rambam? Clearly disagrees with the Rif? Clearly disagrees with somebody? Halakha will be no. Got it? That's only after Talmud sealed. Then a later opinion cannot disagree with the earlier opinion. Understood?
Bavli is before the second, before they came back. I mean, before the story of Purim.
No, Bavli is much later. But the second Bet HaMikdash got destroyed.
After destruction.
50 years
They're not in
later.
Babel anymore.
Listen. Second Bet HaMikdash destroyed. 50 years later, people already forgot the Talmud Ba'al Peh, so they had to start writing it.
Those are Rishonim.
No. It's not Rishonim. That's Yerushalmi. They were still in Eretz Yisrael.
50 years after the second Bet HaMikdash was destroyed.
Yerushalmi is written.
Okay.
Because people already forgot. There was so much problems, people have no time to review. When you don't review,
That's before
you
Rishonim.
forget Torah
That's before
Shabbat.
Rishonim.
Yeah. Then 300 years later than that, Rambam writes, we were all in Bavel, Iraq, Iran, that area.
Those
Bavel.
are Rishonim.
No,
That's
that's where Ravina lived, Rav Asher lived, Abaye, Rava, all of them was
These are-
in Bavel.
Okay.
Over there,
This is 1700.
Ravina and Rav Asher were the last ones that lived over there, and they sealed Talmud. They wrote the Talmud to us. After them finished, that era finished, we're talking already how many years ago? 1600 years ago. Bet HaMikdash got destroyed 1960 something years ago. 50 years later, it's going to be about 19. 300 years later, it's going to be about 16 years ago. It's not that far, Rabotai. Bechor, right? Bechor, father, how old he was? 90 when he passed away? 87, 88? 87. Right? Another 13 years is 100. Right? Go 16 Bovo's up, it's Talmud Bavli. Bechor's Bovo, 16's up. It's going to be Talmud Bavli era. It's not, all the way there. When you see it this way,
All the way there, Rabbi.
you'll feel much closer to the origin.
2,000 years ago.
That 2,000 years ago, if you translate to your Bovo's Bovo, your grandfather's grandfather,
So after that,
it's not that far.
It's
then
like
it's
a third
Rishonim.
generation,
Then it's
Rabbi.
Rishonim.
So 600 years ago, the
Third
Talmud,
generation of it.
the Talmud sealed. On that Talmud that sealed, we have commentaries.
Which is Rishonim.
Which Rishonim? Really, there was a Geonim era, a little bit. Saboraim, Geonim, and then Rishonim.
So who are the
Ni gani
Tanaim?
orde, ma, Joe.
Or the Tanaim.
Complete nada.
Tanaim and Amoraim.
Rabbi, איך?
More be downstairs. Maybe somebody put it
Rabbi, how
downstairs.
that?
I don't understand the
Пошел.
statement of רימונים, רימונים.
Give me an idea.
Так, у меня рука была поднята.
What's your question, Jesse?
I don't understand the statement in the Yerushalmi that says רימונים, רימונים.
בורר.
בורר.
רימונים מרימונים.
רימונים בורר? הרי למדנו עכשיו ממין שאותו מינו, אין בורר. אז מה?
איך למדת את זה? How did you come to this conclusion? Who told you that the same type of רימונים there is no borer? Who told you this?
Rabbi, what do you say?
Rabbi Yosef in our generation. Where does he know about it? What, is he sleeping and dreaming about it?
From ראשונים, אחרונים, בבלי.
He says because the Yerushalmi, that statement was not a statement. That statement was a question. And what's my proof? Maybe the Taz is right. The Taz says it's a statement. Now Rabbi Yosef says, if it's a statement, how can the Bavli that came later than Yerushalmi is not presenting it? How people in Bavel, Ravina, Rav Asher, Abai, Rava, Chachamim, all that one that lived over there, how they were supposed to know about this law? Borer is a very essential law in the laws of Shabbat. It's all the time. It's not some law that comes once in a while. That every single day Shabbat matters. How come they don't have any recordings about this information? What, Bereshit? Huh? Well, it says there, Bereshit. Yeah, Bechor, your mazal is good. But you know where it's interesting, Bechor? It's right above your stender, huh?
Above Alil Shabbat.
Stender.
Rabbi,
How did you put it over there?
Рабейну, у меня была поднята рука уже 10
I'm not
минут.
different.
Joe.
different.
That's not nice, guys. You have to
I'm sorry, I was this way, I didn't see
raise
this
your
one.
hand and, you know.
Yes, Kigoro, what's your question?
I have a dilemma. The
Dilemma.
dilemma is, first of all, we know that Yerushalmi was written by Rabbi Yochanan,
Rabbi Yochanan, yeah.
right? Also, we see Rabbi Yochanan in Bavli. So if you say 300 years after, so he was like 400 something years old when he
Yeah,
passed away?
yeah,
Rabbi Yochanan?
yeah. Rabbi Yochanan was very old.
Wow.
He's one of the people that lived very, very long time. The Gemara asked a question. He said they came to Rabbi Yochanan. They
400
say,
years old?
yeah,
Guys, they prayed for
came-
him to die.
they came to Rabbi Yochanan when Resh Lakish passed away. He didn't have anybody that disagreed with him in
And he
halakha.
was 400 something years old?
Yeah. Rabbi Yochanan lived very long. They say that they came to Rabbi Yochanan. They asked the question, Rabbi Yochanan, you lived in Israel, and the Torah says that you people that will live in Israel will have a long life. How could it be people in Babel live long life? How do we know people in Eretz Israel are supposed to have long life? Because the Torah says, "Lema'an yirbu yemechem v'imei benechem al ha'adama asher nishba Adonai la'avotechem latet lahem kimei hashamayim al haaretz." What the Torah says, you will have long life, and your children will have long life on the land that God promised to give to your forefathers. Which land God promised to the forefathers? Not Iran, not Iraq, not Babel. Israel. So they asked Rabbi John, came to Rabbi Yochanan, how can people in Babel live long life? So Gemara said that Rabbi Yochanan told them, because they come early to Bet Knesset, they leave late from Bet Knesset, they come early to Bet Midrash, and they leave late from the Bet HaMidrash. They don't come the last one in, the first one out. They come the first one in, the last one out. It says the holiness of Bet Knesset is considered to be as the holiness of Eretz Israel. So says the Gemara, because they're in outside Israel, but they go to Bet Knesset early, the first one in, the last one out. They go to Bet Midrash to study Torah, the first one in, the last one out. HaKadosh Baruch Hu counts as their whole time in Eretz Israel. To the point that some wanted to say that you're not allowed to bury a person in Israel, according to the Zohar, if he died outside Israel, right? You're not allowed to. Halakha is not like the Zohar. Halakha, we say it's allowed. Some person asked the question, Rabbi, what if a person got infarct in the Knesset? He got a heart attack in Knesset.
It happened before.
Yeah, lo alenu, could happen. Person died in the Knesset, in Bet Knesset. Is he considered to be as he died in Israel?
Okay.
That's what the person asked the
Did he
question.
come first? Did he come first to me?
So the answer would be, if you used to be always coming first one in, last one out, he's in Eretz Israel holiness.
The cheapest land to be buried.
So that's why if a person doing such a thing, it's promised to have longer life. And guess what, Rabotai? In Eretz Israel, they made a study. It's not just a story, it's a proven thing. They made a study in Israel. Which city has the longest longevity, Arichut Yamim, out of all the cities in Israel?
Bnei Brak.
Bnei Brak. Rabotai, if you've ever been in Bnei Brak, people are poor to the core. They have so many kids, so many weddings to worry about. They say that the poorest city in Israel, Bnei Brak, poorest. Люди очень бедные там. Bnei Brak живут. Очень бедные. It says, nevertheless, they are the city that has the oldest age of people.
And less heart attacks also, they say.
Больше живут люди.
Больше намного долго живут.
Инфаркт нету там, инфаркт.
Долгожители.
If a person has no money, you always have to worry. He has a lot of stress. He has no money. How can he live so long? It's just the opposite. Because they come kind of so in the mornings. They go to Bet Midrash in the morning. They come first one in, last one out. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives them the bracha. It's Rabbi Yochanan written in the Gemara. Top. That's a Rabotai. It's a mitzvah. Kaneso, to be the first one in, last one out. Bet Midrash Bechor. First one in, Ucho B'shto B'prichadili. Last one out. That's a segula to have Arichut Yamim. No, אני אומר לו. Okay. Rabotai, now we're starting the parasha with the 5 minutes of Bechor. This is not my book, by the way. But it's a similar to my book. Да, еще Арвид надо читать, вы правы. Вайхи Яков.
Rabbi, it doesn't turn on.
все, умер.
אני לא מבין איך אנשים היו פעם לא היה להם הרבה מה לאכול כמו היום. אתה יכול לקנות את זה. אתה לא משתגע מהלכות של בורא.